The relationship between nutrition and athletic performance is scientific and specific. Carbohydrates, stored as glycogen in muscles, are the primary fuel for high-intensity exercise. When you sprint 100 meters, your muscles are burning glycogen. When you play 90 minutes of football, your first 60 minutes are primarily glycogen-powered. In the final 30 minutes, as glycogen depletes, performance declines. This is why you see footballers slow down in the second half. Ensuring adequate carbohydrate intake before exercise and replenishing glycogen immediately after is the most important nutritional strategy for any athlete. Nigerian traditional foods are excellent sources of athletic carbohydrates. Yam, rice, eba, egeri, fufu, tuwo shinkafa, and beans provide sustained energy without the blood sugar spikes of processed sugar. Nigerian cuisine is, nutritionally, an excellent base for athletic performance when traditional foods are prepared with adequate variety. The typical Nigerian meal of rice, beans, and stew provides a balanced combination of carbohydrates, protein, and fat. However, athletes have higher needs than sedentary individuals, and some Nigerian student athletes may not be eating enough total food or enough protein specifically to support the demands of intensive training. A student who trains for athletics 3 times per week, plays football on weekends, and is growing rapidly, adolescence is the period of highest lifetime nutritional need, may need to consciously increase protein intake beyond what a normal family meal provides. Eggs, at approximately Nigerian naira 100-200 each in most Nigerian markets, are among the most cost-effective protein sources available, providing 6 grams of complete protein per egg. Iron deficiency is the most common nutritional deficiency affecting Nigerian athletes, particularly adolescent girls after the onset of menstruation. Iron is lost each month through menstrual blood, and if dietary iron intake is inadequate, the hemoglobin in red blood cells decreases, reducing the blood's oxygen-carrying capacity. For an athlete, whose performance depends on delivering maximum oxygen to working muscles, iron deficiency anemia is a significant performance problem, early fatigue, shortness of breath, inability to maintain pace. Iron-rich Nigerian foods, particularly liver, the most iron-dense food available, red meat, beans, and dark leafy greens, should be regular components of a female athlete's diet. Combining iron-rich plant foods with vitamin C, orange juice, tomato, dramatically improves iron absorption from plant sources. Nigeria's climate makes dehydration the most common and most impactful nutritional problem for Nigerian student athletes. The combination of high ambient temperature, frequently 30 to 38 degrees Celsius in southern Nigeria, high humidity, increasing sweat rate, and intense physical activity creates conditions where dehydration can occur within 30 minutes of the start of exercise. Nigerian schools with poor access to clean drinking water during PE lessons and sports practice face a particular challenge. Students who cannot drink during 60 to 90-minute training sessions in midday heat are starting each session with a hydration deficit that accumulates dangerously. A school that invests in clean water dispensers or coolers at sports facilities is making one of the highest impact health investments available. Nutrition timing, when you eat in relation to exercise, is as important as what you eat. An athlete who eats a large, fatty meal 30 minutes before training will spend the first 30 minutes of training fighting nausea as blood diverts to the digestive system rather than working muscles. An athlete who trains on an empty stomach runs out of glycogen quickly and cannot maintain high-intensity performance. An athlete who fails to eat within 30 to 60 minutes after training misses the critical window when muscles are most receptive to protein synthesis and glycogen replenishment. These principles are not complicated, they simply require the habit of thinking about food in relation to training. A Nigerian student who eats a plate of rice and beans 2 hours before evening football practice, drinks water throughout training, and eats 2 boiled eggs with bread immediately after training is optimizing their nutrition for athletic performance without any expensive supplements. Nigerian traditional cuisine contains some of the world's most nutritionally dense foods. Ugu, the fluted pumpkin leaf ubiquitous in Nigerian soups from egusi to edikaikong, is extraordinarily nutritious. It contains more iron than beef per unit weight, significant calcium, vitamin C that enhances iron absorption, and substantial protein. Traditional Nigerian eating habits, soups and stews cooked with multiple vegetables, proteins, and healthy palm oil, served over starchy staples, were, before the introduction of processed foods, an excellent dietary pattern for supporting active lives. The nutrition challenge facing modern Nigerian youth is not the inadequacy of traditional food, it is the replacement of traditional food with processed alternatives, sugary drinks instead of water or zobo, instant noodles instead of beans, fried chicken instead of fish and vegetable soup. Reconnecting with the nutritional excellence of Nigerian traditional food is both a health imperative and a cultural affirmation. For your exam, 6 nutrients: carbohydrates, energy/glycogen, yam, rice, EBA, proteins, muscle repair/growth, beans, fish, egg, fats, energy/vitamins/joint health, palm oil, groundnut, avocado, vitamins, regulate metabolism, A from palm oil, C from oranges, D from sunlight, minerals, structure/function, iron from liver/beans, calcium from sardines/milk, water, transport/temperature regulation, drink 2 to 3 liters daily. Athletes need more carbohydrates, 55 to 65% of diet, and protein, 1.2 to 2.0 g/kg/day, than sedentary people. Pre-exercise, carbohydrate-rich meal 2 to 3 hours before. During, water every 15 to 20 minutes. Post-exercise, protein plus carbohydrates within 30 minutes. Nigeria's best athlete foods: eggs, beans, groundnut, ugu, catfish, sweet potato, palm oil. Dehydration fact: 2% dehydration equals 10 to 20% performance decline. Exam tip: always pair each nutrient with a Nigerian food source. Examiners reward local context over generic answers. Excellent! You now understand how nutrition fuels athletic performance and how Nigeria's rich traditional food culture already contains everything an athlete needs. Eat your yam, eat your beans, drink your water, and eat your ugu. In our next lesson, we move from the classroom to the track and learn the fundamental techniques of athletics, starting with running, the most basic and universal of all sports skills. See you on the field.